Hi, Instagram. Take two of my live. I just had a kind of weird moment, so if anyone happened to catch that, that's my life. Like, I can't even. So, I had been meaning to hop on Instagram live or Facebook live, some sort of live, because I wanted to talk about facing our fears. Right now, I am currently homeschooling my youngest son, Earl, and it is rewarding on my end. But it's also kind of something that I can't even lie, and I think a lot of us parents can relate, that I kind of had some sort of fear of, because I think as parents, our biggest fear is failing our children. And when it comes to our children's, especially my children's educations, I want them to get the best education possible and utilize every resource that their schools provide. Unfortunately, Earl, my youngest son, he has so much resources that the school's providing. It's almost like it's so much that I'm initially I'm like, this is great, but then I started getting like this self-doubt, like maybe I can't do this. Maybe I can't teach him. Maybe it's not going to be adequate enough, because he has a whole team full of teachers and people who work with him. So how can I possibly make up for all those people and the great work they do? So all these thoughts start popping in my head that I'm not going to be good enough, that this fear and anxiety just started to consume me. And, this happens to the best of us. It just doesn't happen to the worst of us. You can be at the top of your game and fear is gonna just enter its way in somehow, some way. So when it comes to his education, my children's education, I don't play games. So I got rid of that fear very, very quickly. But I wanted to do this live just to kind of talk about fear and how I have overcome fear. And maybe that will inspire you guys to comment some things that you've overcome in regards to fear. Because I feel like it's something that stops so many of us from growing. With the work that I do, I'm a Sensi director. I see so many people throw away their dreams because of fear. And all they had to do was just keep going and consistently try and consistently work their business every single day. But they couldn't overcome that fear. Sometimes the fear of doing this, what I'm doing right now, is so hard for somebody to get on live social media and express how you feel. But you know what? Certain government agencies and and corporate entities want us to be afraid to speak our minds. They want us to be afraid to go on live and talk about how we feel. But right now, as I had mentioned, like with this thing where we're basically quarantined and stuck inside, I think this is a good way for people to connect with one another, and express our opinions in an adult way and not unfriend each other because we have different opinions. So, fear. Fear will consume you. It will ruin your dreams. It will turn your nightmares into reality. It will do everything opposite than achieving a goal will. So what I'm trying to resonate with this live is that I really think it's imperative that you face your fears. I am in my mid-30s and I am still facing fears daily. And I don't share this with a lot, and I'm sharing this for the first time publicly. Last year I had a mental breakdown and it caused me to be basically afraid of everything again. It's like all the work I had done on myself, like for the past few years, it felt like it got thrown away and I was immediately afraid of everything again. I immediately had anxiety about everything again. All the issues just came at me at once again, and it was so much for me to bear, and I mentally broke down because I was trying to run a household, I was trying to run a business, I just hit director, I have a team to direct, I have kids to take care of, I had all this going on and I wasn't taking care of me. So that happened. I had a mental breakdown, and I worked myself out of it, which, you know, therapy, it will always help. Talking to someone will always help. You know, I'm big on therapy. You know, if you don't see a therapist, it's on you. But if you're having issues, you need someone to talk to, your therapist will become your bestie, and that's true. So what I did to overcome it was work on something I feared every single day. Now, at the time, I was in the mid process of getting my teeth worked on. So my teeth were all missing up here because I was getting my teeth worked on. So a big barrier for me, believe it or not, is the vanity that I once had. My vanity got in the way of my business to a point last year. When I hit director, I got this ego. And I started thinking I was like better than certain people because I was a Scentsy director. Like, oh, only the top 3% of the company hit that title. And oh, look at me. You know, I really started talking differently and just acting like somebody that I wasn't. And that's always one of my biggest fears, is not being my authentic self. Like, anyone who knows me, Tiffany Marie Kidd, has pretty much been the same 10 years ago, 20 years ago, today. The only thing that may have changed is substances have been removed. But other than that, I have not fucking changed. So every day I had to work on being my authentic self. I lost sight of who I was. I was trying to emulate all these people who weren't me and haven't been through what I have been through. I was trying to hide what I have been through to please God knows who, and to try to portray some image that I wasn't. Yes, I've been incarcerated. Yes, I have a criminal record. Yes, I overcame homelessness. Yes, I overcame addiction. Yes, I lost custody of my oldest son. Yes, that bothers me deeply. Yes, that's the first thing on my mind when I wake up. Yes, it is a goal to have my family residing in one home. But you know what? I have overcome addiction. I have overcome almost near life experiences. I've overcome, like, technically I shouldn't be here. Like, I've overcome so much. So last year when I was getting my teeth fixed and I was fixed and letting my vanity get in the way of progressing my career and putting food on the table, that was a problem. And I believe everything happens for a reason, and it taught me so much. So I would go live on my team pages, no upper teeth, to prove to people that looks don't matter in the Scentsy business, in any direct, and it's not a multi-level marketing scheme, as some would call it. What I do is called direct sales. Okay, it's direct sales, you know. So I just want to clarify that. It's always one of the biggest misconceptions. But, you know, working in direct sales, people think that you have to look a certain way and be attractive and all that. Y'all, look at me. This is me right now. Take it or leave it. No makeup. This is me. There's nothing special about the way I look. I literally worked my business for 8 months with no upper teeth, got laughed at by people I thought cared about me, teammates that I thought, you know, looked up to me. But I found out who my real friends were, and I found out that the people who were laughing and making jokes were just laughing and making jokes on me, and I can take that. I'm 37 years old. I can definitely handle a joke. So each day last year, I worked on something that I feared. Okay, I feared so much. I could write a laundry list, but each day I plugged away and I worked on these things. Public speaking is actually a big fear of mine. It is easy for me to go live like this right now than even, excuse me if no one's watching. It's easier for me to do this, even if there was 2 million people watching, than public speaking. So that's something I want to work on. But I feel like it's important to work on our fears. And right now, given the fact that we're in quarantine and a lot of our fears are resonating because we're at home, we have nothing to do but think. So that's why it's really important. I want you guys to, like, comment or DM me, like, what are your biggest fears? I'm going to share this on Facebook. What are your biggest fears? How do you try to overcome them? Are you trying to overcome them? Are you going to let them control you your whole life? Or are you going to take control of your life? Because when I let my fears control my life and control my business and control my family, that's when it gets unhealthy. So never let that happen. Keep chasing your dreams. Keep crushing your fears. If you ever want to talk, let me know. If one of your fears is joining Scentsy, please reach out to me. I will answer all the questions you have. We're not a multi-level marketing scheme. Okay? Legitimate business. I don't get paid off people joining my team. It's not overnight success. I've been working my butt off for the past 3 years to get where I'm at in this business, and I'm still not where I'm at. So if this was an overnight success story, I would have been making the money I want to the 10 grand I want to make a month. That's going to take another 3 or 4 years. But with commitment and consistency, anything is possible in life. So don't let your fears get in the way of reaching your goals and achieving your full potential. Because your family don't deserve you settling, and the last thing you should be doing is settling because of some bullshit fears that some asshole probably put in your life some way, somehow. All right.